Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Venus Mind, where I share tips and reminding myself too on how to live a happier and healthier life as a woman. Today, let's talk about a topic that I'm sure many of you can relate to: how to cope with stress and anxiety during uncertain times. We are living in a world that is constantly changing and unpredictable, especially with the ongoing pandemic that has affected every aspect of our lives. We don't know what the future holds, and we don't have control over many things that happen around us. This can make us feel anxious, stressed, overwhelmed, and even depressed. But where there's a will, I believe we can still find ways to cope with uncertainty and manage our stress and anxiety levels. We can still find ways to stay calm and happy, even when things are chaotic and uncertain. And that's what I'm going to share with you in this video: some practical and effective tips on how to cope with stress and anxiety during uncertain times, and how to stay calm and happy no matter what. Tip number 1. Acknowledge and accept your emotions. The first step to cope with stress and anxiety during uncertain times is to acknowledge and accept your emotions. It's normal and natural to feel scared, sad, angry, or worried when one's face uncertainty. You're not alone, and you're not weak. You're human, and you have feelings. Don't try to suppress or ignore your emotions, because that will only make them worse. Instead, allow yourself to feel them and express them in healthy ways. You can talk to someone you trust, write in a journal, cry, scream, or do whatever helps you release your emotions. By acknowledging and accepting your emotions, you're giving yourself permission to heal and move on. Tip number 2. Focus on what you can control. The second step to cope with stress and anxiety during uncertain times is to focus on what you can control. You can't control the crisis, the virus, the economy, the politics, or the actions of other people, but you can control your own thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. You can control how you react to the situation and what you do to cope with it. You can control your attitude, your perspective, and your actions. So, instead of worrying about things that are out of your control, focus on things that are within your control. For example, you can control your health by following the safety guidelines, eating well, exercising, and sleeping enough. You can control your happiness by doing things that make you feel good, such as reading, listening to music, watching a comedy, or spending time with your loved ones. You can control your productivity by setting goals, making plans, and taking action. By focusing on what you can control, you're empowering yourself to make positive changes and improve your situation. Tip number 3. Limit your exposure to news and social media. The third step to cope with stress and anxiety during uncertain times is to limit your exposure to news and social media. While it's important to stay informed and aware of what's going on in the world, it's also important to protect your mental health and well-being. Constantly watching, reading, or listening to negative and alarming news can increase your stress and anxiety levels and make you feel hopeless and helpless. Similarly, constantly scrolling through social media can expose you to misinformation, rumors, opinions, conflicts, and comparisons, which can also affect your mood and self-esteem. So, try to limit your exposure to news and social media, and choose reliable and trustworthy sources of information. Avoid checking the news or social media first thing in the morning or right before bed, as these are vulnerable times of the day. Instead, set a specific time and duration to catch up on the news or social media, and stick to it. And when you do, try to balance the negative with the positive, and look for stories of hope, resilience, and kindness. Tip number 4. Practice gratitude and optimism. The fourth step to cope with stress and anxiety during uncertain times is to practice gratitude and optimism. Gratitude is the act of appreciating what you have, rather than focusing on what you lack. Optimism is the act of expecting the best, rather than fearing the worst. Both gratitude and optimism can help you cope with stress and anxiety, and boost your happiness and well-being. Studies have shown that gratitude and optimism can reduce stress, increase happiness, improve health, enhance relationships, and promote resilience. So, how can you practice gratitude and optimism? One simple way is to keep a gratitude journal, where you write down 3 things that you are grateful for every day. Another way is to use positive affirmations, where you repeat positive and empowering statements to yourself, such as "I am strong," "I am capable," "I am hopeful," or "I am enough." A third way is to look for the silver lining, where you try to find something good or beneficial in every situation, no matter how bad or difficult it may seem. By practicing gratitude and optimism, you're training your mind to see the bright side of life and to expect the best outcomes. Tip number 5. Seek support and connection. The fifth and final step to cope with stress and anxiety during uncertain times is to seek support and connection. You don't have to go through this alone. You have people who care about you and who are willing to help you. Reach out to your family, friends, colleagues, neighbors, or community members and share your feelings, thoughts, and experiences with them. Ask for help when you need it and offer help when you can. Connect with people who share your interests, values, and goals, and join online groups, forums, or platforms that provide support, information, and resources. You can also seek professional help, such as a therapist, a counselor, a coach, or a mentor, who can guide you, advise you, and assist you. By seeking support and connection, you're building a network of people who can support you, comfort you, and inspire you. So, these are my 5 tips on how to cope with stress and anxiety during uncertain times, and how to stay calm and happy no matter what. I hope you found them helpful and useful, and I hope you can apply them to your own life. Remember, you are not alone, and you are not powerless. You can cope with uncertainty, and you can manage your stress and anxiety. You can stay calm and happy, even when things are uncertain. Thank you so much for watching, and please let me know in the comments below what you think of these tips, and if you have any other tips or suggestions to share.